Ladies and gentlemen, children of all age groups, welcome to a fun filled episode of the Crypto Maniacs Podcast. We are streaming live for your viewing pleasure on Twitter, not Spaces. We're on Twitter, YouTube, and one day, hopefully soon, we'll be back on Vim. Still don't know what's going on with Vim, but hey, that's okay. Task, how was your week so far? How was your weekend, man? Things going good in Taskmaster 4450 land or what?
Yeah, to keep everybody up to date on the news, Kevin McCarthy, who's the House Speaker, Republican House Speaker, has been ousted from that role, thrusting Congress into chaos. But have no fear, as I just put on threads.
Oh, good.
Have no fear. He'll be replaced by another career politician, so all will be well. Yeah, I'm going well. There's a lot of going on, a lot of Hive stuff going on. We had the introductory virgin run of This Week in Hive on Spaces on Friday. We had the town hall, the introductory virgin run of that on Monday. We had the AMA today. We have Crypto Maniacs, which we're no longer virgins. We're on like episode 257.
Oh, dude, we're Debbie Does Dallas. That's
yeah, we're sluts.
Yeah.
So yeah, all is well, and it seems that Threads is down. I blame tokenized society because that's what I do. Tired of blaming Canada and Bradley Arrow, but have no fear. If you're listening, go to Labs, put labs.leofinance.io, and you can put that in front of the Threadcast, and the Labs is working as of right now.
There you go. Perfect. But we do have the questions. We have a lot of questions. Actually, there's 137 comments from last week's. Now, obviously, we went over a few of them, but I'll pick and choose. Like, I'll go through some questions from last week. But so far, and this was after before Threads went down, we got 19 comments and questions from today's Threadcast. So we'll dive into those first. How about that? And then
that makes sense. Yeah, let's work backwards. So let's get the new stuff, then go to the older stuff.
Cool. So let me make sure I'm in the right one because I'm just awesome like that, and I'll mess everything up. But I think this is it. Is this it? This looks like it.
John, I'm thinking about this Republican speaker thing.
Yes, sir.
Why don't we bring back the good old days where, like, whoever's pissing McCarthy, they go out on the front lawn and have a duel, and the one who's left standing, like, okay, you're speaker now.
Right. Yeah. So, like, you're talking knife. I'm talking swords, not even guns. Like swords.
Swords. Oh,
Let's
that's
go
a good idea. Go a little like samurai style.
Yeah,
a little
man.
Sword fight. I like it. A sword fight on the Capitol lawn to see who's Speaker of the House. Makes sense.
I like it.
I think we should put that in the Constitution or somewhere.
There you go. Perfect. Let's get into the questions from this week, and then we'll try to get into next week.
Last week.
Right. Tokenized wants to know, did something happen to Ledger after that potential backdoor reveal some months ago? Is it still a safe wallet?
I don't know if it was the threat that people made it out to be, but it certainly is a security flaw. I think it was just one of those out of sight, out of mind. The news blew over, but the vulnerability, I think, is still there. How much of a vulnerability is it? Probably, that's getting into the idea of reporting to the government, and if the government comes in. But, I'm by no means an expert on that.
Yeah, it's funny. I have a Ledger, and it's sitting here, and I've never used it. Like, I bought it because I had dreams that I'd like have like 20,000 Bitcoin by now and everything. But yeah, I've never used Ledger other than looked at it and played around with it tokenized. I've never put a single piece of crypto on it. So I suck. Hive Cuba wants to know, when are you guys coming to Cuba?
I can't get there.
Well,
unless I swim across the Straits of Florida to. Yeah, it's like me going to Mexico. I'll be the one heading south across the Rio Grande, and I'll be the one like on the raft heading to Cuba while everybody's coming to Florida. I can't get there. I'd have to fly to Canada and then go to Cuba.
Yeah.
And even then, I don't know if that's allowed. But
it's funny. I remember probably about a decade ago, I was on a cruise, and we left Fort Lauderdale, and when we were coming back, like everyone on the cruise ship was looking off of the side of the boat and looking at this island in the distance, and like everyone on the boat. And I'm sitting there, and I asked someone, I'm like, well, why is everyone staring at that? And they're like, oh, that's Cuba. I'm like, oh, so the boat was filled with Americans staring at Cuba like it was some mystical like unicorn.
Yeah, it's a freaking island like every other island.
It was very interesting. I've never been to Cuba. I would love to go, and we can. We're Canadian. We just
when I lived down in the Keys. It's very interesting. It's just kind of a weird dynamic where people would be living in these very expensive homes, and they'd walk out in the morning to get their morning, with their morning coffee, and there'd be like 6 or 8 Cubans sitting on their lawn chairs right by their pool, or sitting on the rocks by the just out of the water. And because they have asylum, and they knew once they reach land, the police would show up, take them up to Miami, process them, and they're free to go. So, Manny could come here, and you get here, Manny, you could stay. So you could be Hive, no more Cuba.
Yeah.
Hive Cuba once removed.
Yeah, there you go. Just a few people were wondering if it's a YouTube show or a Spaces, and it looks like Task or someone answered there. But
YouTube,
Tokenized,
we stream on Twitter.
Yes, Tokenized is here not only in YouTube, but he's also on Thread saying, what were the highlights of today's AMA in your opinion? And I'd love to know, because I was busy driving today, and I'll get into that in a minute. But, what were the highlights?
Not really any highlights. Shorts is targeted for the end of the month. Don't know if they'll get there. The target initially was HiFest. Cal's almost exact words, I'm paraphrasing. It's a bitch. Yeah, it's just hard to do it, harder than they thought. So we'll see on that. And the rebrand, there will be a threadcast and a live show on Monday, the 9th, 8th, 6 days from now, whatever that is, the 9th. There will be a rebrand show. So the rebrand will be out on Monday.
Wow.
And the site will have the new URL, whatever that is. We do not know. We were not given any information. The Leo token is staying the same. It is in line with the Leo genre. But that's all the info we have.
I think go with unicorn. That's what they should call it. Unicorn, because it's kind of...
I think it should be task.com personally.
I like it. Yeah, there you go.
And then Scaredy Cat said the app could be the Tasky app.
Tasky. Oh, I like it.
Yeah, we're going to Tasky today.
Yeah, let's go
get your taskies done. Right?
Yeah. Back on my tasks. Right?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. That's why I fail at marketing these days. John Timms has a few questions. I like this one. Am I the only one who thinks Leo Threads is going to get more users when the rebranding happens? I think the finance in Leo Finance might be intimidating to some newbies. Like, I'm speaking personal experience here. I never thought I fit in Leo Finance. That's one of the big reasons when Task went ape into this and was all in, I was sitting on the sidelines, because to me, it was very intimidating. I'm an idiot. I don't know anything about finance. I don't know anything about investing. I'm a complete and utter buffoon when it comes to any of this stuff. Just ask my good friend Richard Taylor, who's in the comments right now. He'll tell you how good I was, and he was, at picking winners in the crypto market 5 years ago. But yeah, so it is intimidating for noobs to say, oh, it's a finance focus. So I applaud the team for doing the rebrand. Whatever the rebrand is, I think it's a big win. The Leo brand itself, I love. The finance to me was always a little intimidating. Now, once I got into it and understood it, it's fine. But brand new, it's one of the big reasons why Task is a whale and I'm not on Leo, because I slept completely on when it launched. That's my speech. Do you like that, Task?
It was a good one. I nominate you Speaker of the House.
Oh, good. Can I get into a fight like today with everyone getting
You
kicked
do
out?
whatever you want. I don't care. You walk in there with the newsie. You do a public service.
Yeah. Rich said we had a 90% ratio to it was a failure rate. Yeah, I think that's being generous, dude. To me, it's more like a 95. The only thing that I've bought and kept since that little experiment. So me and Rich in our brilliance 5 years ago when everything was mooning, we just said we'd pick 5 tokens a month, invest $100 in it, and see what happened. And we'd take our numbers at the end of the 6 months or whatever time span we did and see what we did. Every single one of mine has lost money. Every single one has lost. The only one that I have still held on to this day is Steam, which is Hive. So I sold all my Steam, but I got the Hive equivalent, right? Because when we forked.
Yeah.
So that was the only one I still have. And I still don't even have the previous chain's name. It's Hive now. So I know Rich kept a few, but I didn't. I suck. So don't ever listen to me when it comes to financial advice, folks. Please save yourself pain and heartache. Speaking of pain and heartache, he follows that question up with, how's Django liking his new job? I really don't, to be honest. I don't like it at all. It's not really driving. It's go and hook up this trailer. Go over to that yard and pick up this trailer. Go to that yard and pick up this trailer. Hey, while you're at it, go to that yard and pick up this trailer. And go to that, I did 11 and a half hours today. I did 10 hours yesterday. I might have driven 5 to 6 hours in the past 2 days. All the rest of it was just hooking and unhooking trailers. It's not the job. Like, this is what is so upsetting to me about the job that I quit. That was my dream job, except for the fact I wasn't getting paid. Like, that's what I envisioned trucking. That's what I wanted to do. That's like, it wasn't work to me. It was like, oh, me and Task got a podcast to do tonight. No problem. I'll plan my day so I can stop because no one's my boss. I do what, I go wherever, and I got a great place. I'm going to stop. I'm going to set up shop and we'll do a podcast. With this, it's like punching a clock. It's like getting up super early in the morning, going and doing this and that, and then looking at the time going, is the day over yet? And I hate that. I freaking hate it. So with that being said, Leo needs to make me rich. Hive needs to make me rich. And so no pressure, guys. I'm about to go postal because I'm not working in my passion right now. So was that too much? Or was that little overboard? Maybe?
Yeah, well, Dave Dickey will start a poll as to when you're going to quit.
Oh, really? Did he?
No. Well, now that we know what you said, I mean, we might as well start a poll and take everybody throw in 10 HPD and pick a date when Django will quit his job.
Yeah. The problem is that it pays really good. So that's the reason. It's like I should stick with it. It pays really good. I get to be home with my family, which is cool. But it's not like I'm doing this podcast. I'll hang out with them for like an hour and then I'm going to bed. Like, it's not a life. This is not a life. This is awful. This is misery. So we need to get going with the crypto stuff, guys. Come on, when moon. I feel like one of those guys that I'm just in it for the money. Like, I need Hive to go to $5, please. Anyways, sorry, that was his question of do I like my job so far? Sorry to be a Debbie Downer. Sunsika is up. Here's a good one. I think with the bots around the actual newbies don't receive the best welcoming. Should we treat every new account as a new person? And then, well, if it was a bot, so be it. You think she's referring to like Leo, like people coming into Leo and stuff? Or like
I think it's a Zealy. There were a lot of bots. And Zealy, I think is ending. So the bots will probably die off.
Yes,
it's
that's the problem with these campaigns, right? I mean, it gets
yeah,
people fired up, but
but people game it.
people game it, and it's like that in any industry. It's not
Yeah,
like this is not like, don't think like, oh, this is a Leo thing and Leo sucks because of this. No, this happens in every single industry I've ever seen. Anytime you offer someone something to do something, they try to game it.
yeah,
Try to game it, and it's frustrating, but it's like it's the nature of the beast in this type of stuff. So I'd like to treat every new account as a person and welcome them and open arms, but sadly, that's just never the case, it seems. But there you go. Just checking here. 600 new users. Have we seen or felt the presence yet?
I mean, there's new people around, but it's the new For You feature on Labs is really helpful because that gives you exposure to different people. I mean, it's an algorithm based, you
Right.
know, based upon different parameters that you're doing. So,
Mm.
I don't know. I mean, again, 600 were active. They could have done one thread and that's it.
Mm.
So if you saw that thread, you'd see them. If not, they're gone. So, they had people who signed up and who did something, and people who signed up and did nothing. But the sign up and did something doesn't mean they've done 100 threads.
Right.
They may have done one thread.
So, oh, look, it looks like we're back because Sunseeker said, I need Hive to go to $5. Yeah, we all do. We all do. Yes, okay, everyone's. So it looks like Threads is back because we got yes, Addicted said in November all the numbers will go up, so it's all on Addicted. Apparently, he said it. So there you go. I'm excited that apparently Addicted said that, so it's got to be true.
Got to be.
What I'm going to do now is I'm going to go and start reading questions from last week's Threadcast. Now, it's going to be a little bit different just because I'm reading it off of kind of, I'm picking and choosing.
Yeah,
So,
well, I mean, some of those were directed at Sunseeker.
right.
Some of them we answered and talked about. Some of them, hell, some of them might not even be relevant anymore.
Cool. So I won't share the screen, but I'll just read some off that I see here, and then I'll send them off to you, sir, and you can run with it. Sound good?
Far away.
Cool. So I'm destroying this name, Chi Easy. This is two parts here. It says, how long will Hive last? Is it a lifetime business or was it programmed to last for a period? So I'm assuming she's talking about the blockchain, how it's set up.
Yeah, there's no expiration date. It keeps going until, as long as somebody runs the base code, the blockchain will keep continuing. Same as any blockchain. If somebody runs the software, it'll keep running.
Yep. And the follow-up to that is, she said, is Hive a company?
No.
Is it owned by anyone or the same group
No.
of people? And that's decentralization at its finest. So there's that as well. This is Road Stories. I saw this question he brought up last week, and I'm glad we're getting to it now. This is what they said. So what do you think about the fact that one person is a curator in different curation projects? Don't you think this could become centralized behavior? Well, it is. I mean, if you think about curation projects, sure, there's ones that say they're, they have different curators and stuff, but it is one account, and a lot of them are one person or a group of people that are curating. So I don't know how you could decentralize it. Leo has done a really good job of doing that with Leo Voter. They've tried, and they've really done a lot of cool initiatives.
Yeah, I think they have 4 or 5 different curators who vote different parts of the account.
Right, and they have a kind of a formula of how they judge it too, right? It's a lot more decentralization to do with stake, activity, like a whole bunch of different factors. It's not just like, oh, this is really cool content, because anyone can. That's subjective, in my opinion. That is. I mean,
Yeah.
like Taskmasters, you cater to a certain demographic on the blockchain, and then someone who posts pictures on Like2 caters to a different demographic. Well, who's to say? Like you put a lot of effort. Well, sometimes people put a lot of efforts into taking a picture. Like it's all subjective to me, and this is what killed me about the whole it's got to be quality content argument. Like, obviously something really like, this is my cat and a drawing, like, that's not, no, okay, but I still say it's subjective. So yeah, that's my rant. Is that a good one? Good rant. Yeah.
Good rant. You're doing good ones.
Yeah, it's not bad.
Hey John, tomorrow go pull some trailers.
Post pictures of trailers.
Pull some trailers.
Pull. Yeah, definitely I will be.
It's what we get with this. This is the same type of shit that. Would you people think bigger? Think where it's going. Think where we're going to be in 2, 3, 4 years, and stop pissing and tripping over mouse turns, because in a number of years, especially once we start getting smart contracts, once people can start spinning up tokens, the future is, I wrote about this earlier in the week, or maybe it was earlier today, I don't even remember, but you get 5 years ago, before Hive Engine, I said, there's going to be a time where we're going to have dozens of tokens a month. This was even before I knew about Hive Engine. There were 2 tokens on Hive. And what happened? Go into your Hive Engine wallet, and there's all kinds of stuff there. You got pizza, you got beer, you got this, you got that, you got Hive, you got Leo, you got CTP, you got all kinds of stuff showing up. There will come a time where we're going to be getting hundreds of tokens a month. And that's ultimately when we get into DAOs and AI and all this other crap, there's going to be thousands of tokens a month. And the idea that, this is going to be centralized because it's like these downvote wars. And I've been downvoted by some of the biggest whales there are. I mean, nobody's downvoted me on Leo. I mean, maybe they have. Right. I don't know. I don't even look. Maybe they have. But it's like, what happens if Leo goes to $1 and you're getting 5 Leo a day in post rewards? Are you going to give a shit about your Hive? No, because you're getting $5 or $10 or $20 or $50 or whatever it amounts in Leo. What if you have 4 or 5 or 6 different communities that you belong to? Like John was saying, your photography community, there's the photo token. You belong to Leo. You belong to your basket weaving community. You belong to the travel community. You belong to all these different communities. No, by the way, then you also run proof of access out of your to your hard drives for Speak Network, and you get 4 or 5 Hive a day or 2 Hive a day from that, and Hive's $1.50 a piece. It's not going to matter. It's all not going to matter. And the problem is even though we have Hive Engine, even though we have all these layer 2 tokens, everybody still focuses on Hive. Nobody said, hey, Task, how come you haven't downvoted me with your Leo vote? How come we don't hear about downvote wars on Leo? Because myself, Cal, One Alpha, you, Django, Eric, we don't sit there downvoting everybody. So, did you have downvote wars in CTP? I don't remember Blaine and Eliana and whoever else going around having down, and it's easy to sit here and say, well, yeah, but those tokens are worth nothing. Okay, right now. But in the future, again, what if Leo gets to 50 cents and it's higher per token than Hive? How does that change the perspective? We have to understand where all this stuff is going, and the idea of decentralization. Decentralization comes from the ability for communities to spin up their community, spin up a token inexpensively, quickly, and easily. And then all of a sudden, if you have thousands of different tokens, yeah, Many of them are going to be worthless. Many of them have no use case. Many of them are going to be spun up and dead on arrival. But there's going to be a number of them where they have particular utility. The community is strong, even if it's not the biggest in the world. It's strong, and they're dedicated, and they're loyal, and they're building. And it's easy to sit here and piss and moan in the bear market, but Django, for a brief second, was a Splinterlands millionaire way back when. And he did not have the biggest of decks compared to a lot of others. So what happens when that happens, when we get back there? And again, maybe it's CyberX, maybe it's something else. Who knows what it's going to be? Maybe it's something that we don't even know about yet. That all of a sudden there's these different pockets of wealth. So, curation, if anything, if you watched the Graham's presentation at HiveFest, that was a prime example how Hive is changing. If you listen to the Speak guys and the infrastructure, and even Vaultec with VSC, and the opportunities for infrastructure, to provide infrastructure services, I mean, we're going to get to the point, let's be honest, where curation and reward pools are minor amounts. And if you have all these people in Splinterlands making, tens of thousands of dollars a month in value growth on their decks, you think they're going to care about a downvote? No.
It's really interesting you brought that up, because it's something I try to incorporate every week when I do my Hive goals. I put these things down into, did I get creation rewards? Did I get curation rewards? Or did I get miscellaneous rewards? And a whole bunch of questions come from people going, what's the miscellaneous rewards? And the miscellaneous rewards have nothing to do with post rewards at all. Nothing to do. That's income generated from my delegation, from my witness, from my investing in different tokens and stuff like that. It's nothing to do. And if you notice, my miscellaneous rewards currently are about 30%, let's say, to 30, I'd say 25 to 30% of what I get total every day. That's not it's not creation or curation. It's from my other stuff. And that's what you're talking about, the other stuff. That's what's cool. To see this go up, that's what I want to see. I want to see multiple streams of income that have nothing to do with my quote unquote effort per se on chain. I want the passive stuff. I want the stuff that, just like you said, you can set stuff up on Speak Network. Proof of access and all that stuff. That's where this stuff is going. Not so much about, a jackhole whale decided to downvote me for $2, $3 is taken off my post rewards. Who cares? I'm saving the rewards pool. Who cares? I don't care.
And it's high because you do it on Leo.
Right, you don't touch
your Leo's unaffected. And if Eliana upvotes your Leo post with CTP, your CTP's unaffected.
Right, exactly.
I mean, it's going to get less and less. And I don't want to diminish Hive and Hive Power because it's important. It's important for governance. It's important that we spread the token out. I mean, that's why I vote, and I see these dingbats on the Hive, on the Leo leaderboard. They got like 2,500 votes in a week. It's like, you're not voting with any power. What the hell are you doing? You're not giving any rewards to anybody. And so I vote at 5% because A, it has a little bit of Leo to it, but B, the Hive with it is above the dust threshold. I made sure of that. So when I'm voting at 5% on a thread, let's say, you're getting a little bit of, you get a little bit of HP and a little bit of HBD because I made sure it's above the dust threshold. If I would push that down to 1%, you'd still get some Leo, but the Hive would disappear. And, that's what it means, spreading it around. And I took a screenshot of Lucille's Hive wall or Leo wall. She was, we were waiting for the AMA. And so I clicked on her profile. She's in Nigeria. She has 5,600 Leo. You
Right.
don't think a dollar 50 Leo is going to change, do a lot for her? Of course it would. And, she could drain that Leo. It's, whatever, a few $100, but she's keeping it in there until, you know, she's trying to build some wealth. And, I hope it goes to $2-3 just for somebody like her, because that'll
Right.
make a difference in her life. That's what it's about.
Oh, dude, that's why I'm continuing to buy Leo. Not only for, when ad revenue, but like it's the what if factor as entrepreneurs drives you. I don't know about if it does for you, but for me, it's always like Rich again is in the room, and me and him have known each other for over 20 years. And that was one of those big things that me and him used to talk about all the time. It's the what if that next deal you do, that next person you talk to, the next sale you make, what if that becomes monumental and massive? To me, that's what it is for Leo. What if that next 100 I buy is the last 100 I can buy at that price?
Well, I mean, yeah, if you look at it from a monetary sense, that's what markets are, and people, and investors in the markets live by that. But going a step further and correlating it to your idea about a business, certainly that's what drives me. The what if. I mean, what if Leo becomes a $150, $200 million platform?
Right.
Not because of the 150 and 200 million, because, oh, it's $10 Leo. I don't mean that. I mean, what do you have to do to be worth that? What impact are we making? How many users do we have? What applications have to be here? What type of revenue has to be generated? That's the what if that drives me. And, at that point, if you're at 150, what's to stop you from going to 500? Because you're going to be one of the leading dApps, I would think, in crypto, depending on how long it takes to get there. Now, if it takes 15 years to get there, well, okay, you're probably late to the party. But if that's pulled off in the next few years, you're going to be one of the leading dApps, most likely, at least one of the leading non-exchange or non-financial dApps.
For sure. Thor Kell NFT. I'm going to follow this question and see if you can work with me on this one. A new algorithm. How would this affect the visibility of users who have fewer followers and who until now had the same possibilities as everyone? Wouldn't that greatly limit our ability to get anyone to see our threads and therefore interact? And so this was last week, so it might have been something we were talking about.
Well, he's talking about the For You. I would say the way it's looking, no, because there's a variety of factors, and followers is one. But and don't forget, the For You is just one tab. You still have the latest. If you go to Labs, you got For You on the left, right next to its latest, so you can use the latest just like you always did. I mean, hell, everybody says, well, when's the block people? It's like, well, why don't you just use your following tab? I mean, that's been there for months, where you can say, I don't want to see all these other people. I just want to follow who I follow. All of a sudden, if you start engaging with people, that changes. All of a sudden, if I start talking to Django, but Django happens to be following the other person, now all of a sudden the other person's going to show up on my For You. So there's so many different variables that people, if they're active, they're not going to get buried. And that's what I've seen. I mean, I've said since that came out on Labs, that people need to thread more because it gets old very quickly. You start to see the same people. But when I wake up in the morning, overnight, there's some newer people coming in as, Nigeria wakes up or whatever. And some of them may be new people.
I'm reading these comments and stuff from last week's Threadcast, and the amount of people that, when we were talking about how Hive is changing lives in Venezuela, like the Cuban community went crazy saying how it's helping them. The Nigerian community went crazy talking about how it's helping them. This is after I was so inspired last Thursday. I did this post on Friday where I was just like Hive is going to change the world, and I truly believe that because of what it can do for people all around the globe. It's not just limited to us in North America. This is truly global, and it's so cool to read that. So if people didn't get a chance to read the comments from last week's threadcast that we did with Sunseeker, check it out. It's pretty cool, and I'm just poking around here, just
Well, why don't you drop last week's threadcast and this week's threadcast so people can see it?
Good idea. I will do that for sure. Yeah, I'm just checking out here. Yeah, like Token Eye says, this is a great show, guys. So nice to hear firsthand how Hive is changing the lives of people and entire communities. Yeah, a lot of questions came up about that. I think this is what's really important, and kind of echoing what we just talked about with the individual that was worried about the new algorithm, and this is why Task and I, if you've been listening to the show for any amount of time, why we've been screaming on mountaintops to focus a lot of attention here now, because it's really, really easy to stick out now. Very easy to stick out on Threads. All you got to do is show up and put in some value. That's it. It's not like, oh, go to Instagram, show up and put in value. Okay, you're a guppy in a sea full of sharks. You're going to get eaten and spit out. No one's going to notice you because there's so much noise. But you have the ability to be a big fish in a very small pond right now. It's going to get a lot harder because we're all hoping and thinking and foreseeing Leo, Hive, all of this stuff it's going to be big, big, big. Right now, it's very easy to stick out. So I wouldn't concern myself about the algorithm right now. This is the algorithm. Show up, put in the effort now. That's the algorithm. That's the only formula or anything you need to worry about right now on Leo. It's going to get harder because more and more people means more and more voices, means more and more noise. It's a lot harder to stick out then than it is now. So anyone that's worried about the future of, what's going to happen if, people get drowned out and it's the possibilities are not fair for everyone down the road. They're fair for everyone now, especially on Leo. You want to know why? Because Task is one of the largest account holders of Leo. And Task just said 5 minutes ago, he doesn't go around downvoting people. He basically goes and upvotes people all the time. So does One Alpha. So does Cal. So does Eric. So do all these other people that have stake in Leo. They want to see Leo grow. So I would worry right now, showing up, putting in the value. That's how you stick out, so that when a new algorithm, if it does come or whatever, who cares? It doesn't matter because you've built your following, you've built the relationships. You will stick out. I guarantee it.
Yeah, I mean, there was somebody, and again, going back to what Sunseeker said, maybe it's a bot, but it seemed like it was a person. Brand new account, said, hi, whatever the name is. I'm new here. This is my first thread. And I wrote, mission accomplished. You succeeded. And I upvoted. It was probably, I don't even know what my upvote's worth on Threads, like 30 cents maybe, 20 cents, whatever it is. That dude just made more on his first thread than 99.9999999% of the people who do YouTube videos. And the same amount, if not a greater percentage, of the people on Twitter. I see there's one guy on Threads. I won't say who he is, but he's so intent on getting his tweets or X's or whatever up to the whatever threshold so he can start being monetized. I'm like, why? And he needs the money, but it's like, okay, does it pay that much? I mean, put that much effort into Hive and, you'd probably do better. But teach their own. Of course, you're Leo sitting there and you get 30 cents or 20 cents in Leo and it 5X's. Well, now all of a sudden that's $1 or $1.50 for putting in 10 words.
This is the example, and we've spoken about it before on this show, but I've used this example for years when it comes to Hive and all this stuff. Why I love 3Speak so much. This is why. Not what they're building. Like besides Speak Network, I'm just talking 3Speak right now, as is. So, as an entrepreneur, you're told this is the formula. You go and you need to build a YouTube account. Now, you need to build a YouTube account, but hold on. Before you can even name your YouTube account, you need to have like 50 subscribers. Before you can go live on a live stream, you have to have 50 subscribers. Before you get monetized, you have to have like 1,000 subscribers and 10,000 hours of viewed content. So there's all these levels you have to get to for the chance to be monetized. And I know how much that monetization is because we've had accounts that have been monetized on YouTube. And it's, folks, you're not paying bills with, unless you're PewDiePie or Mr. Beast, okay? You're not living the Vida Loca on YouTube. Now you can, sure you can, but you spend all of these years. Now what happens throughout this experience for people is they get flustered, they get frustrated, they give up, they say it's a scam, a scheme, they don't want anything to do with it. They feel defeated. Now here's why 3Speak is so unique, and Hive as a whole. You can come in and create content and just plug into a community, any community, basket weaving, like Tass said. Now, you've been trying to build your basket weaving channel on YouTube for 2 or 3 years. You got your 150 subscribers, or maybe you got 1,000 subscribers. You finally monetized. You're making $10 a month now in ad revenue on YouTube because you're finally monetized. On 3Speak, you do your first video or a couple of videos into that community, you'll make a couple of bucks in upvotes. And again, I'm just talking, this is the monetary side of things. This will inspire the creator. This will inspire them to continue. This will help them get better at their craft. So in a year from now, they're not stressed out about, am I going to be monetized? They're already monetized. What are they doing for the past year now? Now they're working on their craft. They're getting better. They're getting more confident. They're building their community. They're building their relationships. They're already monetized. They're already earning something from the get-go. It may not be $10,000 a month like everyone promises if you buy my product. But you know what? It's freaking inspiring to show up to 3Speak or to Hive and to get basically monetized right away. And I think as creators and entrepreneurs, that's attractive.
Yeah, but what do people do? They bitch that it's too little.
Yeah.
I mean, it's, so
yeah.
You sit there and say, oh, I made 6 posts and I got nothing. Well, go make 6 posts on Medium. Go make 6 posts on Substack. Go make 6 posts on Facebook and see what you get. Go make 6 videos on YouTube. Like you said, you got like 6 layers of hoops to jump through before YouTube will even consider to monetize you. And I did watch a guy's video who I follow. He doesn't make a lot of videos, but he said, I'm going to do this for small content creators. He has 2,050 followers. I don't know, over last year, he didn't make very many videos, maybe, 25 or 30 at most. $186 total for the last 12 months. So, I mean, and you do that on Hive, you make 30 videos on 3Speak. I mean, I can't tell you you're going to make $180. You might not, but you're going to make something. And if you make the next 30 after that, you'll probably make more than the previous 30. And as you said, if you get involved with the community, that'll only enhance it. And so, you see some of these travel videos and some of these food videos. Those are vibrant communities. Okay, you're not going to make $100 off a video, but, there's people making $10, $15 off a video. $20 off a video.
Do that a couple times a week now, right? And now you're getting, $30, $40, $50. Yeah.
Again, you're not making a living off of it, but you're going in the right direction. And that's at today's prices.
Right.
What happens if I 5x at 5x's? Now all of a sudden that $15 on that video is $75 on the video. You gonna complain about $75 on the video, John? I'm not.
Dude, are you kidding me? All day, every day.
So it's.
But I think the big thing too, past the monetization, is it gives people confidence. It makes them feel valued. Like the worst thing in the world is to follow that game plan of going to YouTube or Instagram or take your pick and spending all your days trying to get there to get barely any engagement, no traction, unless you're a 20-year-old showing some skin, then of course you're good to go. But for everyday people, it's very hard and it's deflating because you hear all these people and you see all these pictures of everyone making all this money, and it's
let me tell you something about showing skin.
Yeah. We show a lot of skin up top, right?
No, I don't mean that, but OnlyFans.
Right.
Now you hear about OnlyFans and the money there. The average OnlyFans model makes like $150 a month for showing her everything. $150 a month to place everything on the internet, which is forever. Don't be dumb enough to think you can erase it. It's there forever.
Yeah.
And of course, OnlyFans, the organization, they mislead people, they deceive people. They have these articles drop of, look at the people making 1.5 million in a month. And, maybe they are, maybe they aren't, but that's not everybody. And it's the same thing on YouTube. I have another guy who on YouTube I follow, he does a lot of Tesla stuff. And he admitted he doesn't monetize, but he has a healthy channel. He has like 500,000 subs. And he did 70 grand last year. And he doesn't have any ads in the middle of his videos. So he said he could squeeze a little bit more out of it. But the guy's got 500,000 subs. And he's been on YouTube forever.
Exactly.
Where, if I started a YouTube channel now, it would take me, I might never get to 500,000 subs. If I did, it'd take me decades. YouTube will be gone before I get there. With Hive, like Django said, you just post a video on ThreeSpeak, and I'll go even one step further. You post a video on ThreeSpeak, nobody sees it, but then you write a thread storm about it, and I see it, I'll upvote the thread storm, and that way you'll at least be monetized a little bit. Yep. The concept I've been talking about that I think people need to hone in on is micro-earning. Because like you said, you look at your weekly numbers, 25 to 30% of your money coming in is from the side gigs, these little side things. And that's what it is. You have a little bit of this token, you got drips token, you got this token, you got a little bit of that. You have this income token, you're part of this. I got SPI drops like 30 Hive on me a week. 30 Hive, that's what, 1,500 a year, nothing to sneeze at. Then I got the EDS token that drops another 7 Hive on me a week. Again, that's what, 350. So between the two, I'm getting a little less than 2,000 a year. Living in the United States, I'm not going to retire off that, but this is stuff I bought in. I still own it. It's just coming. And I get stuff for the Bro token. I have some index. I get, Bradley gives me BBH tokens. I don't even know what Bradley's BBH token is, but I get a bunch of BBH tokens. I don't know what
Bitcoin-backed Hive.
What?
Bitcoin-backed Hive. Every BBH token is worth 1 Satoshi.
Okay, so I don't know. It's I get beer tokens. I get this, and I go back to what I was saying about Speak Network and proof of access. They pay out in Hive, from what I understand. I didn't set one up, but from what I understand, they pay out in Hive, and you can go through the PayVax, pay whatever a month, $5, $7, $10 a month. And I don't know if actually, I'm sorry, I'm getting them confused. This is just using your own hard drive. And so you can earn a little Hive for using your own hard drive to store tokens. Then you can do the encoder, which I think is a PrivX and stuff like that. Maybe it's valuable, maybe it's not. But here's my point. if you set up a little $5 server that makes you $1 a month, right?
Yeah.
Why don't you just duplicate that 1,000 times, get 1,000 servers, and make yourself $1,000 a month? That's micro earning. Now,
Yeah.
I don't know if you would, but you'd have to run the numbers. But these are the things that are opportunities. And you, John Go, were a huge Splinterlands fan. I never got into it, but that was another game. And from what I can gather on threads, from what people say about Splinterlands, there's more opportunities. Okay, it's a bear market. They're trying to pull things together and do different things. Fine. But, you can rent your cards. Now they got land. Now they got this. Now they got that. And you got your battles and, CyberX, Decrops. I mean, there's all these different games that, I don't know if any of this stuff will be worth anything, but they're opportunities. And, somebody's going to be the next Splinterlands. I don't know who it'll be, but somebody's going to get a bunch of stuff in one of these games and it'll moon and it'll be like, look at all this money I made. Good for you. But in the meantime, I believe in Leo, so that's where my focus is. That's not for everybody. I also have a fair bit of bro. I like what Raymond Speak does. He puts together some good stuff and a nice income token, so that helps. There's all these different things, and I'm looking forward to when Vaultec rolls out VSC, because guess what? Then a lot of non-technical people who have great ideas suddenly are going to be bringing stuff out. And then we may be off to the races, because then all of a sudden somebody who's not technical has an idea and says, I can do this. I want to do this. Go for it. And enlist people. I mean, I might do something with Leo Glossary along those lines, bring a token out and really work on that. So, there's just a lot of opportunities. And I go back to what Gramps was putting up there and this idea of social shopping. Now, I haven't checked it out, but it seemed, just from listening to the presentation, something pretty cool. John, affiliate marketing and drop ship shopping,
pretty much. Pretty much
drop ship of shit shopping, drop ship shopping. You know about that. You get some of the right products. But again, even if you don't make a fortune, if it brings in, an extra couple $100 a month and it costs you a few hours a week to do, is that worth it? Depending on where you are in your income level, maybe it is.
Yeah, what Camilla said there, I think, is kind of what you're pointing out, is that things are going to get better and better. Just like they mentioned, like Web 2 got better updates, and Web 2 was the social media revolution.
Remember when Dig was it?
What's that?
Remember when Dig was it in social
media?
Media?
Dig was it. Oh, dude, Friendster and MySpace were it. Like that was it.
That's going way back. But I mean, the Dig was like the social media thing you wanted to be on at one point in time.
Yeah. It's like, it's just going to get better and better, and it's just going to keep improving. That's why right now is the time to get active. Not because, what we're saying. Just look at the track record of stuff.
For those who've been around a while, and you and I don't know who else is listening, but John and I aren't blowing smoke up your ass. Yeah. When John and I got here, there were two tokens, Steam and SBD. Yeah. And nobody knew what the hell SBD was, other than you got it for commenting. You got some SBD, and sometimes it'd pump, and you were able to sell it for a whole lot of Steam. I mean, that's what SBD was. So there was really one token, Steam. And in that, some of these questions are applicable in those days because downvotes were big, bid bots were big, and there was a lot of stuff then because there was only one option. But now there's a lot of different options. Yes, I fully acknowledge most of these projects do not have the value of Hive. They do not. They will never have the value of Hive because Hive is multifaceted. So whatever Splinterlands is doing, whatever Leo's doing, whatever Bro's doing, whatever transactions are being done, whatever custom JSONs are being written, all that contributes to the value of Hive. But we are going to have, and Splinterlands was the thing that did this. There will be other Splinterland type successes. maybe even bigger than Splinterlands. How would you feel to be one of the early adopters, one of the trailblazers in that project, whatever the next Splinterlands is, and becomes as big as Splinterlands? Then all of a sudden you have X number of whatever cards or decks or packs or crates or tokens or coins or NFTs or whatever, and they're skyrocketing. That's the potentiality. And in the meantime, we don't know what it's going to be. You give it your best shot. But if you got a lot of things coming in and you pick a couple, I mean, I'm a believer. I think John finally agrees with this. He's slimmed down, where I have a few different projects, and that's what I focus upon. And I go heavy into them. And if they hit, it's going to be well rewarded. I don't have 30 different projects I follow. I can't follow 30 different projects. I can't be involved in 30 different projects. Hive and High Power is the foundation. I believe that. But then you get a couple, 3 different layer 2 projects, whether it's something like Leo, which is, similar, a proof of brain type thing. Whether it's a game, you can cyber exit, you can Splinterland. Splinterland still has, from what I understand, huge potential for money. So Splinterlands, whatever you're into, and go heavy. If it's Wavio and shopping, go heavy into that, and see where it leads you.
Absolutely, dude. We banged out 2 shows in one, kind of, sort of. That wasn't bad, man. That was pretty good.
Yeah, Thursday we don't have a guest, so it will be just the 2 bald guys again.
Showing bald skin, right?
Yeah.
I mean, that's, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I can tell you. I can tell you what OnlyFans makes. I can also tell you what bald guys on the internet make. And
talking about crypto. Yeah.
We're not getting $140 a month for showing
not.
our bald heads.
No.
It pays exactly $0 to show our bald heads. So at least something comes out of it that we hope you people find useful and informative. By the way, as a reminder, if you can, we have our show Thursday, of course, at 8 p.m. Eastern. If you can, Friday on Spaces, Taskmaster 4450 account. It will be the second this week in Hive. It is a Spaces. That means anybody can come on and talk. The idea of the show is we talk about what's going on with Hive, more than just me telling you. Disregard was in the crowd. He came on the air last week to talk about his project. So even if you're not working on a project, if you know of something, if you know what like CyberX did, if you have some insight into what Splinterlands is going, maybe you listen to their town hall or something. We, of course, had the town hall this week. We can bring some of that up. It's a Spaces. So people just have to request to come on, and you can come on. And we want to keep getting information about Hive out, not only to people on the outside, but we need to spread this information about Hive to those of us on Hive, especially if new people are showing up, to let them know there's a lot more here than meets the eye. And your time here, learning what's going on here, will pay off.
Absolutely. Folks, thank you very much for tuning in. Be sure to check out Task on Friday on Spaces, and
that's 1 p.m.
Thursday.
Eastern time. I don't
1
know
p.m. Eastern on Twitter Spaces, X, whatever the hell they call it.
Yeah, whatever they call it.
Yeah, whatever. Yeah. And of course, we'll be back on Thursday as well. You guys have a fantastic evening, and we'll